There's a kind of stress people don't really talk about. It doesn't show up in panic attacks. It doesn't always look like anxiety. And most of the time, other people don't even know you're dealing with it. It's the stress that comes from not knowing exactly what next month looks like. Not because you're irresponsible, not because you're bad with money, but because your income doesn't arrive on a neat schedule. Some months feel fine. Other months feel tight. And in between, there's this quiet hum in the background of your life. If that sounds familiar, you're not broken. You're just carrying a kind of pressure that's easy to hide and hard to explain.
Irregular income does something strange to your daily thinking. You might be doing okay right now. Bills are paid, groceries are covered, nothing is technically wrong, but your mind keeps running ahead. You check your account more often than you admit. You hesitate before saying yes to plans. You delay purchases, not because you can't afford them today, but because you don't know about later. You might even feel guilty for feeling stressed. After all, you are earning money. Some months are actually pretty good. But the uncertainty doesn't average out the way income does. It lingers, and it follows you into moments that should feel calm.
Here's the part most people miss. The human brain isn't just wired to care about how much money comes in. It's wired to care about predictability. A smaller, predictable income often feels safer than a larger, unpredictable one, because predictability gives your mind permission to relax. When income is irregular, your brain stays slightly alert all the time. Not panicked, just watchful. It's why you might feel tired even when nothing stressful happened that day. Why small decisions feel heavier than they should, why it's hard to fully enjoy good months. Your mind never really lands. It's always asking quiet questions in the background. What if next month is slower? What if something unexpected happens? How long should I stretch this? That constant low-level thinking adds up, not dramatically, silently.
One of the hardest parts of irregular income stress is that it doesn't look serious from the outside. There's no obvious crisis, no clear emergency, so when you try to explain it, it can feel awkward. You might hear things like, "At least you're flexible. At least you're not stuck in a boring job. It'll probably balance out." And maybe all of that is true, but none of it removes the mental load of not knowing. Because the stress isn't about income itself, it's about planning a life on shifting ground. That's a very specific kind of pressure, and it deserves to be taken seriously.
Here's something that helps, not as advice, but as perspective. If irregular income feels stressful, it doesn't mean you're bad at handling uncertainty. It means you're human. Stability isn't just financial, it's psychological. And many people with irregular income are actually doing something impressive. They're constantly adapting. They're learning restraint in good months, patience in slow ones, creativity in between. That adaptability often turns into long-term strength, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. The stress you feel isn't a failure signal, it's feedback. It's your mind asking for a little more calm, clarity, and margin, not perfection.
You don't need to have everything figured out to deserve peace of mind. And you don't need a perfectly even paycheck to build a stable life. Many people living with irregular income eventually develop something valuable, a quieter relationship with money. Not because the uncertainty disappears, but because they learn how to listen to it without letting it run everything. That takes time. And it starts with understanding that the stress you feel isn't weakness, it's awareness.
If this video felt uncomfortably accurate, you're not alone. A lot of people carry this quietly, and a lot of them think they're the only ones. They're not. If this gave you a little clarity, or even just the feeling of being understood, that's enough for today. We'll talk more about money like this here, slowly, honestly, without noise. Thanks for being here.